But today we are tackling croissants. Super simple, just time consuming. This is step 3, not time consuming. I'm trying to read and talk and run a show, people. First butter, number 2. Look at how big this gets when it's all done up. You guys, if you watched part 1 and 2, we're at part 3. I made 2 doughs today. We're gonna roll it out. Look at that, it's so soft. We're gonna roll it out and we're gonna add another layer of butter to it. And then I'm not gonna touch it till tomorrow. So the first layer and the second layer, I'm going quick for you guys because you wanna watch this and you wanna be involved. Look at, you can see my fingerprints on this. I'm gonna tilt my camera. You guys can see, look how bubbly this is. You could just see the fingerprints on it, just like that. I'm not even pushing it. I'm being very gentle. This dough is perfection. All right, I have my butter pounded out, my frozen butter from earlier, and we're gonna lightly flour the surface, right? Lightly. And then less handling of the dough and butter, the better at this point. Meaning your body temperature is way higher than the dough and the butter. Don't touch it and handle it too much. Use a heavy duty rolling pin. Look at that. This is marble, so it's perfect for this. I'm just gonna pound it out. At first I'll pound it. I will flip this baby over. I gotta tell you guys, you know how good croissants are outside? Oh, wait till you make your first batch of croissants at home. They really are quite incredible. And the amount of work you put into it, that's it, you just roll it. There's no science behind rolling this dough. You just roll it and then lift it, add some more flour, happy flour, easy lighting flour. You'll see the pieces of butter in there. You will see the pieces of butter in there. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. Lightly flour the surface. When you make croissants at home, what will happen? Well, they'll disappear instantly, which is a shame and also really, really fulfilling. You kind of go, wait, I just put 2.5 days of work into that and it's all gone. Well, you want it to be all gone. You really do. You can't even help it. There's nothing better than homemade croissants, warm right out of the oven. I'm gonna try and keep this rectangular. Remember that that's what we did the first time. As much as possible, okay? It's not rocket science. It's just a dough we're rolling out with butter, people. Don't panic over it. If it's not rectangle, I don't want you to pull out your measuring tape and cutting it. No, come on. We're not in pastry school. This is real life. No one has time for that. If you're so rigid, you're never gonna be able to get in the kitchen. All right, that's that. Now, I'm going to pop this butter. Actually, I'm going to keep that butter for the next batch. And I'm going to, first butter batch too. I'm putting that butter right in here. Sorry, walking away again. Because we're really cooking here. We're gonna pop the next butter on here. Okay, This is room temperature. You could also do cold. You could also do frozen. You can also do room temperature. I have a cold one I'm going to do since I'm prepping 2 different doughs. That way you guys can see it both happen live. I'm trying to not get too messy. Just scrape it down. Last time I did the dough with the butter, my mother-in-law saw me bring it out this way. Next day, she sent me a big old butter dish. I have a butter dish, people. I just want to run with it. So, thank you for my butter dish. Don't send me a butter dish. Here we go. What you do is you're doing a tri-fold, letter fold, wash off or wipe off the flour where you're going to fold the butter. You're going to fold the butter like a letter. Everybody knows how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, this is how you do it. Scrape off the excess flour, right? And then you're going to fold. You're going to be quick with this part because now you're touching it, you're handling it. Body temperature is way higher than this dough. You're going to start melting it. You want to move. Get with it. Don't get nervous. Here we go. And then what I'll do is I'll just slightly flip it over. Right? And then you'll just go slowly from the center out, from the center down. If it becomes crooked, even out your arm. Don't panic. If I'm going this way, it'll turn. So just keep an eye on it. Best advice I can tell you when you're doing this is wear white. Because when you have flour all over you, it's not visible. Now you see what just happened? This is quite long and not that wide. You can make it a little wider and you'll see the flour is peeking, the butter is peeking through. What I'm going to do is now fold. Oh, yes, take that flour off. Take the flour off. The butter is peeking through. It has 2 layers of butter. Oh my. Put some more butter. You see your surface is wet and buttery. Turn it over. Really gentle. This is such delicate dough. It is so delicate. It has so much butter and it's cake flour. That's the other key to this, cake flour. Really soft, flaky, and then just roll it out. Give it a roll, baby. Okay. This is the one with room temperature butter. And then the other one I'm going to add the cold butter, which has been sitting out. That's it. We're done. We're done. You just fold it twice. And the minute you see the butter seeping out, you just lift it delicately, gently. You can use a lifter. I have that too, but for using my hand, I really like touching my dough and being all in there. Nudge it together till tomorrow. This is going to sleep overnight. This has to sleep overnight, and make sure your refrigerator is set to its coolest temperature. Because this got really 2 packs of butter in there. 2 folds. Usually croissants take 3 to 4. This already within the first day of being made has 2 packs of butter in there. So give this poor bread, this pan, a break and let it go to sleep. Tighten it up though. Really pack it nice and tight. It'll bubble up. That's the yeast in there that's going to help it bubble up. See how I'm making it nice and tight? And then this will go in my Ziploc bag. And you can reuse the same plastic. Now I'm going to write on this number 2 butter, and it's dough number 1 because I have dough number 2 here. I know which one I started with. I started with this one. There it is. Make a little note on the plastic and pop it in there. Now for dough number 2. I'm going to show you guys the one that I just pounded, the cold butter. Same process, though I have some butter on the counter. We're just going to scrape that off. It's not going to hurt anyone. Just scrape it off. Butter on the counter. In my past life, so I woke up early this morning because we have yet another rooster. And I thought about past life and present life. And I thought to myself, in my past life, I must have been French. It is just the thing. It is what it is. So if I had a past life, does this make my last life? I don't know. I just thought about that. That is how fluffy this dough is. It's so hollow. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't even tell you guys. It's perfection. I can't wait to roll it out. I'm gonna tap it. Remember, this is marble. This is heavy duty. It's heavier than the regular wood ones, and I'll just roll it out. I like using this, even though it's heavier on your muscles, it's actually easier to roll out because it already has so much weight to it, right? So here we go. Roll this out to larger than 8 by 10, but keeping that form. So you want to keep a rectangle form because you're going to fold it like a letter. Larger than 8 by 10. So larger than a notebook, a notepad, or a printing pad, or 8 by 10 picture, whatever you relate to. Larger than that. You're going to roll a letter is what you're doing. You don't want to go too thin. There's chunks of butter in here from earlier today. This is the second edition of butter. You want to stay rectangle. If one part is shorter than the other, you just push more on that side and it'll pop out. It's really simple. You do not need to pull out your measuring tool and a knife and cut it and even it out. No, you do not need to do that. I know so many people do that. So many different videos do that. Bless them. We are not that perfectionists in our kitchen. We are real mommies and daddies and kids, and we gotta like to live. Here it is. All right. I pounded this cold butter, right? You roll it out of a parchment, or you can use saran wrap plastic, or whichever plastic you like. Pop it in the middle. This is easier to now. I just wanted you guys to see both types of butter. This is cold. It's still not frozen. It was frozen earlier, but it was going to take too long. And because I'm not a TV show, I want to show you guys in actual time. So fold it over. Wipe off the flour. It's really simple, really, really, really simple. Fold it over, wipe off the flour. It's simple, it just goes slow. Wipe the flour. There we go. Right? Now, over here, the butter is peeking at me. I'm going to tap it with some flour, and then all you do is you roll it. You can flip it first, or you can just start by rolling. I'm going to bring it back up again because it'll move. It's normal. We're not a machine. This is not factory made. This is real cooking inside of a real kitchen. And every time you fold and add another layer of butter, that's what's going to add all those layers in your croissant when you rip it apart and you see layer and layer and layer. Oh my goodness. This croissant is so worth all those walking, all those steps, right? I will fold this again. Here we go, my tri-fold letter. I don't know if I'm even using the proper terms, people, because this is really happening and it's not there, right? Just, it's common sense. Don't overthink this darn thing. It's common sense. You're folding it to keep the butter in. That's all you're doing. There it is. That is perfection. That's just beautiful. Simple, common sense. As I tell my kids, please have common sense. Not everything is about being book smart. You have to have common sense. This is common sense. You put the butter in, you fold the butter in, you make sure the butter stays inside. So once you're folding and flipping, it's so the butter doesn't come out. That's all. Flip it over, wipe off the excess flour, pop it down. I'm going to give this another roll. Look how perfect that is. Look at it. I wish this was day 2.5 or 3 where I could cut into this and bake it and you guys would lose your minds. That's it. I see the butter. It's seeping out of this fine line. That tells me it's enough. I don't want to overwork it. The longer I keep it out of the refrigerator or handle it, the sooner the butter is going to get out of there because it's getting warm and you don't want that. So we're going to remove this and put it right on our plastic. And it's late at night here. There it is. You see those layers? That's what you're doing. You're adding, folding, adding, folding. There it is, guys. Those are our layers. We're going to add 1 and maybe 2 more folds to this. The more folds and butter you add to this, the happier your croissant will be and the tastier. Now, don't forget, I made my croissants with chunks of pink Himalayan salt. So some bites might be more salty than others. I love a surprise effect in my food. Wrap it tight. See how I hold one end of the plastic and I pull it back? There we go. And then what we're going to do is take the other plastic and kind of go opposite way of the original, meaning if I folded it lengthwise, now I'm going to go this wise, this wise, this way, so the seams are intact and covered. You don't want it to get refrigerator odor. You want it to stay tight and cool and stay within your rectangular shape. If it gets out of there, just kind of put it back together. There it is, right? And then now this is dough number 2, but it is butter number 2. I will write that on there. I'll cross this out so I'm not confused. I've done this before, that's why I tell you. This is dough, I think it's number 2. Number 2 butter dough number. This is number 2 dough and it's number 2 butter. So I know I've put 2 sets of butter in each dough and I know which dough was made first or second. I know this stuff I'm OCD with. And I'm only OCD with it because I've done this before They both look the same. You can't tell them apart. You just can't. Get all the air out of your Ziploc. You don't want your croissant to have any refrigerator or any air in it. And you seal it tight and you put it to sleep in the refrigerator. Get all the air out. You want it to be tight. And we're gonna tackle this baby tomorrow. That's as airtight sealed as I can do it manually. All right, lovies, let me put this in the refrigerator. Come back tomorrow and catch part number 4